Now, 9 years ago, Procter & Gamble created an advert called Run Like a Girl for its always feminine hygiene brand. The ad asked, when did the expression like a girl become an insult? And it provoked a huge reaction after being aired during the US Super Bowl. Well, one of the marketing executives behind the campaign was Dalia Feldheim, who now advises business leaders on incorporating feminine traits into their leadership style. She's just written a new book, Dare to Lead Like a Girl, and she joins me now. Dalia, welcome to you. What are you calling feminine traits?
What am I calling? So basically, the commercial, as you mentioned, was, the objective was to reclaim the phrase like a girl to mean simply be proud to be who you are. I believe it's time to reclaim the phrase again in the world of leadership. And basically, leadership traits, I call the model 5P. And first of all, we see it from research. We see, Harvard Business Review, Folkman and all did research to try and understand how come we don't have more feminine leaders, in senior roles, or they're not as effective. In 2012, they found that they are as effective as men. In 2019, they repeated the research and they found that not only they are as effective, they actually, lead better than men in 17 out of 19 leadership traits. So why does lead like a girl kind of sound like an insult? But I call the model 5P. It's basically purpose. How much do we lead from the heart, from our strengths? It's around perspective or perseverance. It's the mental health. It's power up, how well we take care of ourselves so that we can give to others. The most important is people skills. And this is how we treat other people, how we get to know people as people. And the last one is positivity. And it's good to be positive in the workplace. It's good. How do we deal with emotions in the workplace? How do we bring things like gratitude, giving, etc.? So that's kind of the essence of what it means to lead like a girl.
And you don't think men are doing that as well as women in general?
So there are a few things that, of course, the ideal model is the positive feminine and positive masculine. Actually, the book is not about women versus men at all. We all have both feminine leadership traits and masculine leadership traits. A good leader should be rotating between the two. The issue, Rusty Sauter, who created conscious capitalism, talks about this wounded masculinity. The business world has moved into power over people versus power with people. So my book is basically provocation, a homage to the campaign, but basically a provocation for all leaders, men as well as women, to connect to those more historically considered feminine leadership traits. All these soft skills, and we're seeing it today more than ever before, are essential in the workplace.
Well, absolutely, because, the pandemic gave rise to the so-called Great Resignation. You think a lot of that was down to toxic workplace environment?
So actually research shows, they thought that it may be burnout or pay, but research, Slow Management Review in 22, found that the number one driver of the Great Resignation was toxic work environment. 1 in 2 experience toxic work environment. I saw research in UK, 70% experience it either directly or indirectly. It's costing the economy, I think the latest research is $7 trillion. So it goes straight to the bottom line. Now, we know we have an issue. We know employees are leaving. We know the pandemic kind of resets the expectation, and we know we have a solution. It's about training managers on what it means to be a leader, because too many companies don't realize the difference between manager and leader. As Simon Sinek talks, right? As a leader, you're not managing the business. You're managing the people that manage the business, right? So how do you create this 5P model? So that's what I do today with companies, train on how to move from manager to leader.
Now, you've had a fascinating career, which actually began as a commander in the Israeli, you were a platoon commander in the Israeli Defense Forces.
Yeah, well, I wish there was peace and I didn't have to do that, but I believe it's compulsory in Israel. So if you're already doing something, do it the best. And that was my crash course in leadership. And that was also my crash course in feminine leadership traits and how, you need the power, you need the strengths, but how do you, you're as strong, but connect into your soft side. That's
in my experience, some of the best business leaders have actually served in the military.
Yeah, I think there's something about the challenges, the hardship, that builds. At 19, I was heading 200, a platoon of 200. So I always say that's my crash course in stamina, crash course in perseverance. And then when I started working was Procter & Gamble. You have already the experience. So yes, I guess it did. I hope my kids don't need to do it because we have global peace, but we're not there yet, sadly.
All right, sadly. Dalia, got to leave it there, I'm afraid. Lovely to see you this morning.
Super, thank you, Ian.